Good evening, Pats fans, and welcome inside the Brandt Center as we preview tonight's action between the Regina Pats and the visiting Brandon Wheat Kings here on the Next Gen Game Night. My name is Dante DiCaria, and hey, the Regina Pats are back on home ice for the first time here in the second half schedule as they begin a 8-game homestand tonight against the Brandon Wheat Kings, facing off against Brandon for a 7th time this season. The Regina Pats, they're coming into tonight's action with 13 victories on this season, and they're coming off a 5-2 loss to the Moose Jaw Warriors on Friday night inside the Moose Jaw Event Center. The Pats had their stretch of 4 consecutive games with at least a point come to an end last night in Moose Jaw, but Boreavala stayed hot in that hockey game, extending his point streak to 9 consecutive games. Zane Rowan also found the back of the net. Kelton Pine was tested throughout, making some 10-bell saves throughout the hockey game, and the Pats picked up a season-high 49 shots on net in that loss to the Moose Jaw Warriors. On the other side, Jackson Unger had to make some big saves for the Moose Jaw Warriors with 47 of his own. The Pats' penalty kill was strong in that hockey game, and the power play also scored as well. But moving on to tonight's action, it's the Pats taking on the Brandon Wheat Kings. They've picked up back-to-back victories since coming back from the Christmas break. The Pats playing their 3rd game back from the Christmas break. The Wheat Kings also playing their 3rd game back from the Christmas break, as well as these two clubs rematch from Wednesday's 5-4 overtime contest in which the Pats were on the losing end, but it was a pretty exciting game inside Westoba Place in which Sam Aremba scored 2 goals in that hockey game, but it was Jaden Weens picking up the overtime winner as the Wheat Kings won a final score of 5-4 in overtime. The season series is now tied up at 3 between the Pats and Wheat Kings, but the Pats have been undefeated inside the Brandt Center this season against the Brandon Wheat Kings. They are 2-0 on home ice against Brandon. And speaking of home ice, the Pats have been very good on home ice this season. 10 victories inside the Brandt Center. We'll see if they can carry that into tonight's game against the Brandon Wheat Kings. Of course, I mentioned Brandon. They are 2-0 to begin their second half schedule. They're coming off back-to-back games in which have gone to extra time. I mentioned the 5-4 overtime victory over the Regina Pats on Wednesday. Last night they were in action and they picked up a 3-2 shootout victory over the Saskatoon Blades. So the Wheat Kings coming in hot as of well. The Regina Pats have played some good hockey despite not getting the wins as of late. I mentioned Sam Aremba, and he's somebody that we should talk about heading into tonight's action for the Regina Pats. Sam Aremba with 2 goals and 2 assists over his last 2 games since beginning the post-Christmas schedule. Somebody who has been incredibly hot for the Regina Pats and is using his size and skill to his advantage, and somebody that you have to watch out for heading into tonight's contest against the Brandon Wheat Kings. Taking a look at the standings right here on the graphic, the Regina Pats are still within reach of the final playoff spot, still within reach, sitting in 9th in the Eastern Conference standings. Great opportunity with 2 points tonight to get back in the win column. As I mentioned earlier, the Pats are beginning an 8-game homestand tonight as they take on the Brandon Wheat Kings. They're back in action on Monday inside the Brandt Center. It's the New Year's Day game, a 4 o'clock start, as they rematch the rival Moose Jaw Warriors. All right, that's all you need to know for tonight's action between the Regina Pats and the visiting Brandon Wheat Kings. Make sure to get to your seats because Puck Drop is coming up next.